All right, guys, we're on a roll tonight, so this will be my third video for tonight. Try not to do too much, just trying to get a bunch of updates done, and I don't get a lot of time, so took some time tonight. Got the Silverado done. We talked a little bit on our heater over here, what we got going, but I want to take a little time to talk about the white truck. So our last little race there, I found out a bunch of shit. I found out putting that Phenolics 2-inch spacer in there made a big difference in terms of gas boiling, restarts, sitting and idling. I didn't have any issues at all with this thing. I have no idea what that heater says. It's in Chinese. It was pretty warm out there, but I never had an issue to where I revved it and it blew gas out the vent. Never caught fire, never spit back. It never did any of that. The truck just ran. The other thing I did was I put in that bigger discharge nozzle. I think we put in a 37 or a 30. We put in a 35. I ordered a 35 and a 37. It had a 31 in it. Stuck that on there. Throttle response, man. I just bump it. That freaking RPMs would come up. It was there. Ran great. It never ran as good as it ran that weekend. We lost, but man, I had a hell of a time in terms of fun. So I went out, just made passes. You know, really fast guys made me slow. There's a few guys there that I think I was pretty competitive with them. I think they might have nosed me out, or I may have nosed them out. I don't really pay attention where they're at when I'm racing. I just A to B. And I watched how those guys ran, and, you know, they were putting some power down. So that made me feel pretty good. Met up with a guy there on Instagram that I always talk back and forth with, and finally met him. I wanted to race him. Didn't get a chance to race him. He broke. Just kind of the way it happened, you know. His buddy was there, had one of those T-Rexes we raced, and I think I nosed him out, but it's hard to see because it's not quite at the line. But I was like, all right, you know, that's a pretty fast truck, full size. Of course, I'm lighter weight, less horsepower, but I was like, yeah, man, that's pretty cool, you know. And then, but I need to talk about, I put that spacer in there. I pulled mine out. This motor was dynoed without the spacer. I threw my spacer in there for the fact my lines were touching, my throttle cable wasn't long enough. I put it on there just to have the room. I don't care. If it's a little bit of horsepower, I'm not drag racing this thing every weekend. I don't need all the power in the world. My brake booster goes to this one. So what happened was I have my PCV valve, or my PCV valve and my brake booster. I had to try to tie together. I didn't have the correct line. It was 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I was just trying to get to bed so that I could go get ready for the morning, just a little bit of sleep, you know. Those lines, they got hot and they melted down. So when I did one pass, my last pass, and man, that thing hauled ass. I mean, it was there. And I didn't have a camera person. I had a guy, the guy Matt, he took a couple videos for me. And then I had the guy on they were next to me, They had a bunch of buddies and stuff. I brought my camera out. He's like, hey, you want me to record you? I was like, yeah, that'd be cool, because I didn't have a camera person. And my other buddy, they were down farther. They had their own thing going. I wasn't going to bother them with trying to record for me and everything. And I ripped them lines off, but I ripped them off from my booster. I hooked my PCV valve back up, called my brother, kind of asked him what he thought. He said it's probably going to need it. So it was either the brakes or oil getting blown out of the block. So I had manual brakes, and it was hard to get on the two-step. When I did my race, I held the button. They already pointed at the light. They hit the freaking light before I was even ready to go, which I was kind of irritated, but that's racing. That's nothing on them. It was on me. I should have had my shit together. So just going to leave it at that. There's a hole on the back of this intake in the back. I just need the right adapter, and then I'm going to go ahead and hook my brake booster back into there so that I have power brakes. I can hold it better. I threw this can on there. That's how I split it. I used to run my old vacuum brakes off there. My powered, the actual 12-volt power vacuum pump. Everything we're going to do this year, I left this on. It works, so I can use my wipers. We're going to try to save some weight. We're going to pull these off, get them out of there, pull the motor off, get the motor out of there too. We're going to cut the front of, block the camera there, my bad. I'm going to cut part of this core support out, and I'm going to shove this fucking radiator into here because I'm tired of it being so close to the motor. It's either I move this or I cut the firewall out and I slide the motor back. I would love to do that, but I have to do everything else. I have to do the steering arm again, cross member, drive shafts, everything. So I'm going to get them moved. That'll give me a little bit more room. I'm thinking about pulling the inner fenders out of this thing as well. I don't really want to because it covers up a little bit of my mistakes in the back. But I think that'll save a little bit of weight because I'm not going to need it. Clean some other things up. And then I got to take the intake back off. We got to reseal it because we are blowing out some oil. When I dropped that needle in the motor, I had to tear it apart. I didn't get it quite sealed all the way down here. So we're going to have to pull the intake off, reseal it so it's ready to go for summer. I don't know if I'm going to get this thing on the road this year or this coming summer. I'd love to. Money's going to be tight, so I don't want to put any more money than I have to. The other thing we did in that race was I knocked the mufflers off because I want to make V-band clamps or get V-band clamps so I can weld on the exhaust so that I can take the mufflers off if I'm racing. And then if I drive it on the street, I can just clamp them back on, very simple stuff. Well, there's too much pipe on there right now, and with it bouncing, I'm pretty sure it took out the passenger side exhaust gasket again. It's always the passenger side. The only reason I'm thankful it's passenger side is because the driver's side has a whole bunch of steering shaft and all that. It's hard to pull it away from the body. So we're going to do that. I'm going to try to get all these other wires cleaned up. And then got to clean up everything else. But that's what we're going to shoot for. I wanted to put a 9-inch in the rear. It's not going to happen. And I really want to put a 4-link on the front end because I really want this thing to just come up. Watching the videos, it would come up a little bit. And I know the one video when I left, it left hard, and the truck made pretty much a left-hand turn. I know it pulled the tire off the ground, but there's no video of it. So I was kind of hoping somebody would post it, but so I'm gonna have to check the DIY sway bar in the back. But I really want a 4-link the front, but that's gonna cost money too. So busted the windshield. I need to get that changed before it cracked. The other thing I want to do is, these are glass windows. I always run around with them down, but if I'm towing the truck at all or whatever, or in the winter, I like to leave them up so I don't get the dust in there. I'm gonna pull them out, put some plexiglass in there, and then I need to get rid of the inner door panels, because I cut them out. I didn't think about it when I did the truck. I knew it was gonna be tight, and I was just gonna buy the aluminum panels that go down it. I just never got that far, so we're gonna have to get that done. And then we gotta get rid of this battery mount. We gotta get a bigger RV one so I can put a bigger battery in here, because this thing sucks juice so much that we're gonna stick it farther back, get a kill switch on there, and it's pretty much what we got for this video. So probably get some new plugs in the summer, and yeah, I might end up having to move the MSD box. I think it might be getting too hot, but I don't really know. So that's what we got for this update, and hopefully we get to do some stuff this winter on the truck. So I don't want it just laying around. Like to get it out this spring, but you know, baby comes first, and life's not working right now, so trying to make sure my fun is limited and very cheaply. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next one. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, you know. I don't really care if people do. I still enjoy doing what I do, but catch you guys later.